Hi guys, Ken Chigbo aka KenFX3 back with another week roundup and look ahead to the key events. Now, let's look at last week, okay? We started seeing a shift in tone. The dollar continued to exercise its right to the north, technical correction needed, but was also supported by some fundamentals. Markets were focused on all the stimulus that Joe Biden's going to inject. That was forcing US bond yields to start rising. So with that, coinciding with that, the dollar was also rising with those, the push higher in the yields on the bonds. There's also growing expectation that with all this fiscal stimulus comes more inflation as well. So the markets were actually starting to price in, bring closer expectations of action from the FOMC. So for them to hike to accommodate with all this spending and inflation it's going to cause. Markets were expecting for interest rates to increase now towards the second half of 2023 rather than 2024. But then really all this fiscal stimulus in theory should be seen as dollar negative because it's good for risk appetite and it's bad for dollar in the sense of it's more debt. We know they've got a huge trade deficit in the United States and then now they're going to be adding to their debt. But markets aren't seeing it that way at the moment. And then there's also rising cases, again, COVID globally. Parts of China have gone into lockdown. UK still in lockdown. France are looking at tightening restrictions even further, as well as Germany. So there's still a lot of uncertainty in the markets. Now, if you look here at the dollar, you see where we're capped to the upside at 90.60, broken above that range, does leave the door open for further upside. Now, for me, I do believe at some point this rally is going to be sold. It's just about a matter of when. Perhaps maybe when Joe Biden takes his seat, because he'll be starting to reverse some of Trump's policies, which are not so friendly for economic ties and global relations. So I think Joe Biden risk appetite effect could come into play at some point. So it's about just looking out for scope, for signs of rejection for the dollar rally to be sold again. But right now we've got room in early part of this week to continue to the upside. If you look at euro, daily support here at 20.70, keep an eye on that. Obviously if that breaches, we're going to be firmly below 120. If you look at GU, again, hit a big supply region in this top part of the 36 range. Again, doors open for a retest of this flag structure here, but big support around 35.00. GJ as well, got this huge channel structure here. Next daily support, you guys can see that mid 40 region. So just looking at those key areas, and with AUD as well, big data points this week, jobs data, and we've got Chinese GDP. AUD, in terms of the direction, is going to be dictated by that data for sure, the fundamental data points. Got a trend line of support here. Actually, a bit of a head and shoulder structure, as you can see on the 4 hour. Now, guys, for specifics, because there's going to be a ton of volatility this week, for specific technical and fundamental real-time analysis, do not hesitate. Check out freakfxtrading.com. Myself and my team, keeping our community up to date with all of these fundamentals and making them go hand in hand with the technicals, trade ideas, so on and so forth. It's high amount of volatility this week for sure. So do check that out. In terms of this week calendar, PMIs, European, services, manufacturing. We've got jobs data from Australia. We've got GDP. We've got from China. We've got NZD, CPI, and we've got the Joe Biden taking his seat as president. So expect a ton of volatility. In terms of BluFX, an amazing solution. Please do not hesitate to check them out. They are great in in helping you become an all-rounded trader because of the discipline protocols and the risk there. You will become an all-rounded trader as long as you follow that. It's about longevity in this game, following through the process. Amazing. Stay lit, baby. Let's have a good week.